finally through the off season, and maybe finally is not the word. Maybe it's a pretty quick fly for you guys from getting from March all the way back to October. But talk a little bit about your off season and how things have been going in South Plains College, Texas land.
Well, we spent most of the year trying to replace a couple of guys that had been here and won a lot of games in our point guard, and then our 5 men, Yannick and Devontae, and even though that was our goal, you never quite get the same type kid again and what have you, but we covered the country, looking for players, and I think we've got 8 or 9 new faces to go with 4 or 5 that we're bringing back.
Let's talk about the guys you're bringing back. And you bring back some guys that have a little experience. Darryl Lucky ended up seeing some time last year when you got Devontae Smith in foul trouble. I think of Roderick Lawrence and Neal and Martin and Karina. You've got a few guys coming back that's got some in-game experience.
Right. We feel pretty good about the guys that are coming back. Ryan Martin has really kind of elevated his game. He's playing a lot, I think, with a lot more confidence and a lot better now. And whereas he was kind of the second fiddle last year, he's kind of stepped into that position this year as our most probably consistent player, I think. Rod Lawrence has come back and is shooting the ball really well. Brandon Neal has drastically improved, I think, over last season. And you mentioned Darryl Lucky. He's had some moments of where he's shown some potential and what have you. So the guys that are coming back, I'm pretty pleased with what they've done to this point.
Let's talk about some of the incoming class. I'm looking over your roster, checking out a few of these guys on paper. Any highlight spots? Anybody we need to circle and go watch that guy, because that guy is going to be an impact player.
Well, I think it's too early to do that. I mean, we're a little deeper than we've been in the past. Whereas last year we were pretty sure that we were going to play one guy at the point. This year it's a little bit different. I think we've got a couple of guys that are going to share it in Harris and Clayton Jones, and till one of them maybe makes a run at it or whatever. But we scrimmaged West Texas the other night, and I was pretty pleased with the play of both of those. A couple of guys I failed to mention that are returning that have really improved. They're almost like newcomers. They didn't play all that much last year. Is Malik Nichols and Michael Karina, and both of those guys have stepped their game up a little bit, and I think they're going to be great additions to the team as well.
Let's talk about that first scrimmage West Texas A&M already. Give us kind of some of the nuts and bolts on that scrimmage. How'd that thing go for you?
Well, all in all, when I looked at the team that West Texas State had, and I'm very familiar with a lot of their players because some of them were in junior college 2 years ago. Some of them went on to Division I schools, and for whatever reason have transferred back to West Texas State. I thought on paper they're going to be a very, very talented team, and they were. The thing I was pleased about was defensively, I thought we were a lot further along than I feared we might not be. I guess there's a couple of double negatives in there for you, but so from that standpoint, I was more than pleased. I was pretty excited that we're a little bit better defensively than I thought we might be at this point. We still need to, really fine-tune some execution stuff on the offensive end. But it was a toss-up between the two of us, and which, going into it, I would have said I think it's, if we could do that, then we're progressing about the rate we need to. Our schedule is, I think, is as tough as any schedule I've ever had here. Evidenced by the fact that only two games that we play here. This was the year that we're having to pay back people that came in here last year, to play. So now we're going to Scottsbluff, someplace, Nebraska, wherever the hell.
It's a long ways out.
Yeah, I think you know where that might be. To me, Nebraska's a rumor. I've never, but and we're going to Seward, Kansas, and play there. So I mean, there's a lot of teams that we're going to play that have had national tournament experience lately. The good news is you get to play good teams. The bad news is you get to play good teams. So, but I don't know. It'll be challenging. I wish that we played some of them here, but Hey, it is what it is, so that's great.
Meanwhile, the polls put you number 1 in the conference right out of the gate.
Yeah,
that means a lot.
Yeah.
Pay a lot of attention to that. Not worth the paper it's printed on.
I don't think it is. I think it's a joke. I probably shouldn't be quite as opinionated about it as I am, but that's based on a scrimmage. Okay, we go to the Dallas Jamboree, and we scrimmaged 3 pretty good teams, and we did pretty well. But so did a couple of other schools, and that scrimmage is so early in the season. I mean, sometimes teams don't have their entire roster with them, for whatever reason. They leave a guy at home or sick or what have you. So none of us really know a lot about, based on that scrimmage, about our opponents, because you don't know that by the time we get ready to play them who they're really going to have, and what have you. I mean, since that point, we've had some guys that we have a guy that's no longer with us right now. We have another one that is starting to play more that didn't play then. I mean, so a lot of things have changed, and we're no different than any other school in the league. Hey, I appreciate it, and if they want to send us a trophy right now, we'll take it and call it, But I don't think that's going to happen.
Coupled with the fact that it's a good conference, probably one of the best conferences you're going to find in JUCO basketball in the country, and you got to think, no matter how that voting comes, Howard's always for real. Midland College seems like they're always for real. New Mexico JC's been good. Is that the way the conference kind of stacks up again? You look for these front four to be leaders.
I think it's the same team, but I think Frank Phillips is drastically improved. I mean, they showed signs last year of being a lot better. They just didn't win any of those, those really games to put them over the hump. But I think this year they've got even better players than they had last year. From what I saw, and at the deal. But let's go back to what I said earlier. They may not have all those guys, when it's February and it's a snowstorm and we're stuck in Borger for 3 nights again. I don't know. So who knows?
Coach, appreciate your time. Saves out of time for this. Final thoughts for us today before we wrap it up and get ready to play basketball.
I cannot believe that we're even sitting here talking about this yet. It just seems like last year was just 2 weeks ago, and it's amazing to me that we're getting ready to have our barbecue next Monday.
That's right.
And then shortly thereafter, hey, we play for real. So I don't know where the year went. I have no idea.
Meet the Texans on Monday, October 28th at the SPC Texan Dome. Doors open at 5. Barbecue starts at 5:15 with music performed by the SPC Creative Arts Department. Admission $6 for adults and $3 for children under 11. Award-winning barbecue will be prepared by the cooking teams with a winner pick following the program. Come on out and meet all the Texan teams and stick around to watch the Texan scrimmage LCU following the program at 6:30. For more information, visit spctexans.com.